give 1 minute for extra attendees, but we've got more than one, so we'll be able to start. To be honest, I mean, we could always just do just the two of us. So what I'd like to do, Bianca, is to start with you sort of sharing a little bit about yourself, and then I'll introduce myself, and then we will get cracking.
All right. So hi everyone.
Hold on. Another 10 seconds before we start.
Oh, okay. My clock must be fast.
10:31. Right, go on then, Bianca.
All right. Hi everyone. I'm Bianca Kaplan. I'm Adam's daughter. If you can't see the relevance between us.
Even.
And
Bianca,
today...
start again. You said the relevance between us. What are you talking about? What's wrong with you?
So today we're going to be talking about social selling on LinkedIn. It's a newer way to sell, and it's definitely so relevant for now, especially for businesses that are adapting to the current pandemic and looking to generate more prospects and grow their network and generate more sales. This is certainly a really effective way to do that. So I just want to go through, and we're going to go through sort of how you can optimize your LinkedIn, how you can use it to actually grow your network and generate those prospects and find the right people in order to generate more sales for your business. And yeah, so I am part of Cellular Attitude with Adam. I'm a sales trainer, motivational speaker, and developed the Level Up LinkedIn program, which is basically helping people grow their network through social selling, and also do offer a managed done for you service, which we'll discuss a little bit at the end. But yeah, over to you, Adam.
Thank you, Bianca. So my name is Adam Kaplan. I wrote the book Cellular Attitude, which is a self-development book. I am over 50. I've been involved with sales training and speaking for many, many years, and I've run different types of businesses along the way. You might have guessed from the background pictures that Bianca and I are both avid aviators, and that's a picture of one of the planes, Boeing stem, and flying over the pyramids, which is pretty cool. But that's just a bit of background. Our attitude and ethos is sell more now, and that's for our clients, so that because we recently did a sort of deep dive on our own business with the very effective Al Tepper, who helped us to sort of distill what is it that we're doing. And what we're doing is helping, what do our clients want? And they want to sell more now. And it was very effective for us to do that, because it's relevant to what we're going to talk about, because what we thought we were doing as a business was engaging learners, helping them develop, helping them grow, and helping them deliver actual results. And that's what we do, but it's not actually what our customers want. What they want is to sell more now. One of a client of ours who's in IT, we went through the same process with them, and their process became stress-free IT. So when you think about what's on your LinkedIn, it's about what is it, not what you do, but what you do for your prospective customers. So it's a different perspective of how you visualize yourself. And the reason I'm mentioning it right now is because it's literally right at the beginning of this process of understanding what is it we're doing, what are you here to do. And the thing about LinkedIn is it's an extremely effective platform. We know this, we've seen it for our clients, we've seen it for ourselves. And so many people aren't doing it the right way. They're making huge errors or wasting great opportunities. And really this entire webinar, if you take one thing out of it, it's look at your LinkedIn again with a different view. Not what you think you do, but what you do for your customer. It's the benefit concept of selling, as opposed to look at what I do sort of thing. So I think this might be a good idea to ask you a question, Bianca, which is this. For you, what would be number one mistake, or a very common mistake you see people make on their LinkedIns?
For me, what I've noticed is that people aren't actually using LinkedIn as a sales funnel. And I think that LinkedIn is such a powerful social network. And I think personally, I think it's actually the most powerful of all the social media platforms. It does depend on your business, but for B2B now, it does allow people are open to engaging. So optimizing your profile, ensuring that you're using it to funnel sales. So like Adam said, your messaging needs to be all about, and as we do in sales, all about the benefits that you bring to the customer. So the first step is to go and optimize your LinkedIn profile to make sure that you fully filled it out, to ensure that the messaging is correct, that you clearly show what you can do and how you help your prospective clients. Because while you might not be looking for a job, which is also what you can do on LinkedIn, your potential prospects will be looking at you, and that's your credibility. So if you can actually have a good picture, have a cover photo, make sure that your tagline shows exactly how you help your clients. What are you doing? For example, we help our clients sell more now. What are you doing for your clients? Put that in your tagline so that people automatically see what you do. And that really
let's actually, I'm gonna share my screen for you all and show you my profile. And listen, profiles are always changing, they're always evolving. You don't leave it static. It's you know, when LinkedIn first came out, when Microsoft, well, before Microsoft bought it, the idea of LinkedIn was it would be a professional CV that you could see and that you could use so people could see who you were. Actually, it's people often go to LinkedIn's before they go to a company website. So it's almost part of your business out there that people are reviewing before they even engage with you. And so as Bianca said, by neglecting it, you are massively potentially harming your business, but more importantly, you're not necessarily making the most opportunity. So let me share screen. Let's hope this works. Technology and the world of technology. And again, you know, this is something always in development. So there's my particular screen, and actually it's my screen as I would see it as the user, not necessarily how someone sees me, because there's a lot of things in there. So here's a picture of me with much shorter hair, and as you can see, I'm growing my hair quite long now. I'm going to go all the way. So one of the questions I'm going to put out to you as an action point is to vote on whether I should stay short-haired in that happy picture there, or go for the long, luscious locks. And if anyone that gets the correct answer gets a prize. Right, so as Bianca said, simple background, company logo, what we do. We help you sell more now. It's simple and it's on the tin. A little bit of information there if people want it, but simple, nice smiling picture. Really important to have a smiling picture. What you don't want to be is miserable. You don't get points for serious, you get points for being happy. And that was actually Bianca and I at the Excel Center when we were working with Microsoft. I've got a gold in because we've got Sales Navigator. And then here is my little intro, what I do, simple words of my process. A little bit about, and as you can see, I've got a whole section of what I do in detail and a little action point at the end. These are the articles that I have and my featured section. So you can see that there's articles going on and different visuals and videos that are going in. Here's my dashboard, private to me, which I'm sharing with you, shows you who's viewed my profile in the last month, how many views on posts, how many times I've appeared in searches, my status, which is all star because I've completed everything that there is to complete, how many connections I've got, the followers, what I've been at, the activity that I've been doing, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of activity, my experience, which is effectively the old CV part, and it's got an interest to people, but it's not as important as you might think. Endorsements are really important. Building up your endorsements of what you are capable of is vital. Doesn't take a lot of time. Build your profile up, and then you've got recommendations, and Bianca will talk a bit about recommendations later, and I could highly recommend you doing the LinkedIn masterclass with Al Tepper. It's a short session. It's not massively expensive, but it will really help you to help take your LinkedIn profile to the next section. Accomplishments, interests can be in there, but very simply, this is a completed profile. But what it does is it's driving people to be interested in what we do. It talks about Sell More Now. It talks about what I do, what our offerings are. I've got relevant articles. I've got people who have recommended me, and I've recommended as well. If you go down here, you can see that I've given recommendations to people, and this is something that you'll learn about improving and growing your profile. So that is something that is very much the first, I believe, the first port of call whenever you're trying to do anything on LinkedIn, is to grow your image so that it's relevant, or you tweak it so it's relevant to what you're trying to say. I like the votes, by the way, for the long hair. Thank you. So Bianca, I sort of talked about there. What do you think the most important thing to do to optimize your LinkedIn profile is, if you had to choose one thing?
I think when it comes to your social selling index, there's different ways in which you will improve that. And when it comes to establishing a professional brand, it's not really one size fits all. There's quite a few things that you need to do. So when establishing a professional brand, you need to optimize your profile by ensuring it's properly filled. Giving recommendations is powerful. Asking for recommendations from past clients, people you've worked with, will help you. Writing articles is also going to establish your brand and will help you push your LinkedIn profile. But I think what really we want to talk about is social selling. I don't know how many of you are social selling on LinkedIn. Feel free to comment and let me know. But social selling is basically selling through social media. And with LinkedIn, it's sort of a new way to sell. So if you think about it, you're actually eliminating the gatekeeper. So the days of the telesale or ringing up a company, trying to find out the correct person, trying to move through that sales process in order to get that client to convert into a customer, has changed. So with LinkedIn,
Bianca, are you saying that that when you incorporate into your sales process, starting to get into finding the right person as opposed to ringing up a company, doing some research before you make a phone call?
Yeah. So to find the right people without Sales Navigator, it can be done, but it's tricky. But LinkedIn has a very powerful software called Sales Navigator. Many of you might already have this. It is just the best software. It has really powerful tools. So it's got advanced search tools that will allow you to search for example, if you go into a company and you want to find out all the employees that are on LinkedIn, you'll actually be able to see all of those employees. You'll be able to reach the right person, search by job title, head count. How many of you have? Please do comment below if you already have Sales Navigator. It's especially for those of you in BNI, you can literally find who you want to be introduced to in about 30 seconds, if that. So this will allow you to find the prospects, and if you as a business know who your prospects are, who your target market are, then if not, it might require you to look at building a sales plan for yourself.
Okay,
but
so Jamie's asked a quick question, that isn't social selling just for starting the conversation?
So essentially it's a different kind of sell. So it is all about starting a conversation, and it was all about building relationships. So it's not a hard sell. It's not the same kind of sell. This really isn't a hard sell. The way to go about it is to spark a conversation. Exactly. the fact that they're on there, businesses are on LinkedIn, and it's a effective way to sell B2B, it means that they're open to engage. If you're going to connect with someone, then, and they're going to accept your connection, then they're open to engaging with you. Even if it's the CEO or the managing director of a huge company, if they've accepted your connection, likelihood is they don't mind you reaching out to them. So there's an opportunity there to start a conversation, and to then start the sales.
It's quite funny. And it's something that we've been working together intensely now for a good year, like on this thing, and it's suddenly realised that it reminds me of a story of before we worked together, Bianca, when I was just by myself and everybody was still very young, and I had a client, or no, there was a prospective client I wanted to get into, and I couldn't get hold of him. What I could do was get hold of his voicemail, and so I'd ring him and leave a message, and I'd say, hi Stuart, it's Adam Kaplan here. Ring to talk to you about sales training. I'd like to find out when's a good time to call. And then I'd give it a week, and then I'd ring again and say, hi, I rang a week ago. I'd like to have a chat with you. I'm going to give you a call in about 3 days. I hope you have a good weekend. I'm going to be playing golf on the weekend. I hope the weather's good. I rang back on the Tuesday. At the time I said I was going to call, it went to a voicemail. And I said something like, hi, Stuart. It's Adam Kaplan again. Wasn't the weather great over the weekend? I played golf. I didn't play that good, to be honest with you. I lost so many balls. I nearly gave the game up, but I hit a great shot on the 17th. But look, I'll give you a call on Friday at about 4. Hopefully I can speak to you. This went on for 3 or 4 months. I was leaving messages. I say stalking, but I mean, I was telling him stories each time. And in the end, I'd said that I was going to call back on the Monday. And he rang me on the Friday to say, don't call me on Monday. I'm actually not going to be in, but can you call me Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock? Because I do want to talk to you about sales training. I've not been able to, but I've been listening to your messages over the last few months. And so when I actually spoke to him, I said, hi, Stuart, well, look, what would you like to talk about? He said, when can you start training? I did, and this was LexisNexis, who, as you know, we did years of work for, because I suppose in a way, I'd started that conversation for a social selling concept where it was a one-way chat. And Jamie, your question about, is it just social selling and starting a conversation, prompted me down that rabbit hole of thinking about that story. And yet it was soft, because at no point, the only time I mentioned why I was calling was the very first call. I didn't mention it in the rest of the conversation. And I think that is the key to do this on LinkedIn, is not to make it about selling. It's almost like it's, and I'm not, you've got to not just chat. You've got to have that focus of what I want to achieve in this, which is, what is your objective? What would you say then? What would you say when you are engaging with somebody on LinkedIn? What would you say the first objective that you've got to have is? Would you say start having a conversation?
Yeah, for sure. So asking questions is a great way to get someone to engage. And, you know, at the end of the day, if I'm contacting sales directors, I can ask questions about sales. We're all in the same industry. We face the same problems. We know what we're you know, we can talk about that. And so you can ask engaging questions to start a conversation, and it will be, you can translate that into any industry, to any business. You know, if you're, for example, a doctor, you can be talking about health. You can be asking how CEOs, how they leverage health in their business, how important is it to them? And people do engage, and they want to talk about it, and they want to tell their stories. And then you can actively listen to their stories, discuss, and then actually what you're doing is you're always finding out people's pain points. You're finding out about your prospects. The fact that they're engaging with you shows that they want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And through just engaging in conversation, you're selling in the sense of you're taking in that information, and you're working out if that client or prospect has a want or a necessity for what you can offer. And as you go through that conversation, you'll move more towards that, and they're more likely to then start that sales conversation about what it is that you do and how you can help them.
I suppose in a way, it's a bit like the way that Stuart just said, well, let's get going, because we built this, and I think, and Jamie's just said, a connection, which is the point. You've built a relationship up, and in a way, I showed that I was tenacious. So he knew that I was going to not stop. I wasn't going to stop. I wasn't doing it in a nasty way. I wasn't hard selling. I wasn't selling at all. I was just calling to show that I was putting a lot of effort in. And I remember Stuart saying to me, he said, you put so much effort in before you'd even spoken to me. I knew that you would put that effort in for me as a client. Because if you're willing to put that much effort in before you even start. So this is the thing. I think that's a really good point, and it's really interesting. I've learned something from this webinar, so thank you everyone for coming, so we could teach ourselves something here. But I suppose in a way, if you think about it, this is our social selling process. What we're doing here is we're not actively selling anything. We'll let people know what we do, but really it's about building that relationship with the people that are in the connections, people within my LinkedIn program, in LinkedIn connections, your LinkedIn connections, etc. Because whether it's for the people that are listening, that are interested in doing wanting to do what we offer, they may know people that want to do that. So I think it's really important to. I genuinely don't believe, and I've been sales training for a very, very long time, and we're talking about when I used to sell, Bianca. I mean, I know you've done selling and cold calling as well, but when I started, it was before internet, and we just had the yellow pages, and they give me a book and say, you've got the letter A, get cracking. And in the margins to where people's names were waste of time, no money, deadbeat, loser, all these comments, and they say you've got to ring them all, can't not, just because somebody else failed. Very, very, very punishing and unpleasant for me, unpleasant for the other person. So by
cold calling, it gets a bit of a bad rep, because a lot of the time with cold calling, although it does work, and it does work, and I've done cold calling many a time, but people are less receptive to it because it's that shock. Who are you? I mean, especially when it's by the phone, you can't see the person, you don't know who that person is that's calling, and I think there is that element of fear with cold calling, and it has to be quite tenacious in the sense that you've got to do it a certain way, and it can be quite abrupt at times, whereas this sort of process, and what I absolutely love about it, and why I'm so passionate about this way of selling, is that it's so social. You don't have that fear, because actually anyone you're contacting can just go onto your LinkedIn profile and see everything about you. They can see your picture of you. They can see all of your CV, essentially. They can see your credibility.
But it's honesty selling, really. I believe it's
so much trust. It's transparent. It's transparent.
It's funny. We talk about in our psychology sales training program, we talk about selling is actually really can be summed up in one question, which is asking the right questions to help the customer make the right buying decision for them. Yeah. And it's that customer-centered concept of how can we help you to get what's right for you, and really believe that is why I think that the concept of going through within LinkedIn is very good, which is, so this is really interesting, but we've gone down quite an interesting rabbit hole. So let's bring it back to what we're talking about on LinkedIn, because we want to help the people that have come onto this to take things away. So we talked a bit about marketing on LinkedIn. What about how you find prospects? How do you help, how do the people that are on this call, how can they find the right people? Because that's the beginning of the concept. You can't sell if you don't have people to talk to, if you haven't found the right person. So what advice can you give people about finding the right person?
First of all, I want to ask you to ask yourself a question. How are you finding your customers? Because, one of my clients that I work with on my Level Up program was quite literally going in to restaurants and shops to hand out leaflets. That is how he was getting his clients, or through word of mouth or through BNI. So how are you getting your clients? Because what if I told you could find any client you wanted on LinkedIn, and you could contact them, and you could essentially they could be a potential prospect. So the first thing that you will need if you're going to go down this social selling route is Sales Navigator. It is awesome. I cannot speak highly of it enough. It is just wicked. It gives you all the tools you need. So that is an essential.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, I know that some of you have already messaged and said you do use it. Sales Navigator is an upgrade on LinkedIn that allows you to do far more than you might otherwise. I'm just going to quickly, I mean, it is going to be a really fast show, because this is not for that. But as you can see on my LinkedIn, here's the standard LinkedIn page. Over here on the right is Sales Nav. I'm going to open up Sales Nav, which is another version. It's a deeper dive on LinkedIn. And what you can do here is search geography, title, company, industry.
If you just type in sales director.
All right. Okay. Good idea, Bianca. Right.
Now, here on the left, you've got all these filters. Okay.
So look, there's 8 million sales directors in the world. And then
just go filter it through.
Let's do geography first.
Let's do Essex or.
Let's go with Essex.
Let's do Essex. Okay. Now, just for example, I just did a lead list. I did a lead list of between 500 and 1,500 leads per search, and you can actually exclude. So Adam, if you just go down to title, and you type in sales manager, and this is just an example. Okay, I select sales manager. Now hover over sales manager near the X and press that stop, right?
Oh, look at that. I didn't know that.
Click that. And now all sales managers will be excluded from this search.
Oh, so, you're a genius.
Now 4K is quite a lot, so we can narrow that down even more. We can add seniority levels. If you click seniority level, let's say I am not interested in talking to anyone entry level. If you click on entry, scroll down,
that excludes, same thing.
And you exclude that as well.
If you only want to speak to sales directors, for example, and then because we don't want to be on this too long, but what's key is you got 1,500 here, but over here you can see who's been active in the past 30 days, and these are my second degree. Anyway, so the point of it is that it takes you into a process of finding the right person in a very effective way. So that's really good. We've had an anonymous question, by the way, asking what would you include within the initial message sent to someone without being overly salesy. My answer is just be honest and just say, hi, my name is, I'd like to connect, and I'd like to have a chat with you about whatever it is you do for the customer. Not what you do, but what you can do for them. So in my instance, I wouldn't say I'd like to talk to you about sales training. I would be saying, I'd like to find out, would you be looking to would you like to sell more now? Would you like your salespeople to sell more now? So hopefully that helps you, Mr. Anonymous, whoever you are.
You can also say, hope dear Mummy Katie, I'd like to introduce my business. In the connection message, you can be very simple, really simple, and then it's stated that you'll engage.
So Sales Nav, guys, is again, it's an upgrade. You can pay monthly. And it does give you far more ability to drill down and find the key people. I mean, it might be that you want to speak to the PA of a CEO of a particular company. I mean, you can search to that level and find the right person that allows you to do that little bit of research to find that key individual. So I very much recommend, if you're going to use LinkedIn, it is something that LinkedIn, you can't buy it anywhere else. You can only buy it through LinkedIn. But very, 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 very good way of doing it. So, okay, that's really good. So what do you think, Bianca, one of the key aspects to using LinkedIn is obviously reaching the right people. How are you going to be able to do that then? How many people should people be looking to get in touch with? How much activity should they be making on LinkedIn?
So this is where it will differ. And it depends on how much time you have, how much time you're willing to put in. So for example, if you're a business owner and you don't have the time, then automation is a great way to reduce that time and to be able to manage this. Maybe you have salespeople that you can put onto this, and maybe you have a salesperson that you can put onto social selling. Maybe you'll have salespeople doing telesales. Maybe you'll have, there's all different types of sales techniques that can be used in order to get prospects. But if you're wanting to contact in volume, then I'd recommend it is time consuming, because if you think about that lead list, of about 1,000 leads.
That is why we created the software that we use to automate that process. But what I think the point I'm trying to get across here is you have to invest time in doing that. But just getting in touch with people is not enough. What activities should people be doing on LinkedIn other than just reaching out to new people? Are there things that they can do to increase their visibility on LinkedIn?
Yeah, massively. I think while we're obviously talking about sales, there's a whole element of marketing here. So if anyone in this call is in sales, you might not have necessarily needed to be in marketing before, but certainly if you're a business owner, you need to be a bit of everything, and there's definitely an element of marketing necessary for this. It's sort of a whole bundle. Now, we did touch on it earlier. Al Tepper, who's not in the call, but he does offer a fantastic masterclass. I know some of you have already been to it. If you haven't, it's from 9 to 12. I think he's got one on the 19th of August. It's £150 to go. He is a marketing guru and he teaches you everything. But I can give you a few pointers now on how you can do that. So first of all, is a social platform. So you want to be engaging. For example, often I'll comment on other entrepreneurs that I'm interested in, and I'll actually put thoughtful comments in, and then people will engage. People will actually find my profile, add me on LinkedIn. You can be engaging with people within your network. So a lot of you are in BNI, so being really active with other BNI members will actually get your profile put onto other people's homepages. As you engage, you become more visible.
Just to say that, so because Aiden has asked a really good question, which is related to this. He's asked, I presume having an active account is important for people to want to engage with you. What type of content do you recommend to be posted regularly for people to want to respond / approach you? And now what's interesting is that, when people think about LinkedIn initially, they think about, right, I've got my profile, like my wall, and what I'm going to do is write articles, which you should do, and put comments in and put posts in on your wall, which you should do because it helps people understand who you are. But what you're talking about, Bianca, is almost that guerrilla marketing concept. And I think you're going to talk about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, aren't you?
Well, it's now sharing.
I love that. That is Al Tepper's thing, by the way.
Yes, and Al did tell me recently, though, that actually by sharing other people's, by sharing posts, it's not actually that effective because of the algorithm in LinkedIn. If you want to share something, then you should actually share it natively to your profile. For example, if you, Dad, were to post one of our blogs, and I then share that onto my profile, that will actually reduce the traffic that goes to yours. So sharing isn't actually that effective. But
commenting, positively commenting. So, for example, Iden and everyone else, if you think about it, I've got just under 5,000 connections. So if I put a post out and you comment on it by putting something, as Bianca said, thoughtful or insightful on there, not only are you connecting with me, but you're actually also connecting with everybody within my network that has seen or get to looks on my articles. So you're actually getting yourself out, not only to me, so you're not only raising your visibility with me, but you're making yourself visible to everyone within my network. And it is an unbelievable opportunity to connect with people that are going to be connected with me in a guerrilla, subtle way. It's subtle, and you have to, don't put on there, hi, my name is Iden. I am a really fantastic estate agent in Chingford, and if you'd like to get a house, buy it from me now. My name's Iden, I'm really nice, bye, bye, bye. That is not how to do it. But saying something about, well, that's really interesting that you'd said that. Funny enough, I was with a client of mine, or as an estate agent in Chingford, I was with a client who really was worried about whatever that was. But they gave me some really interesting ideas, and I never thought of it that way. And I'm going to start sharing that idea with them, etc., etc. That gives you a different way of being visible. It is time consuming. However, if you become active with it and you just organize yourself more and stop watching EastEnders, I'm not saying you watch EastEnders, of course, but I'm saying in general, focus on the activities that you do that will drive money to you. Now, I've got a very simplistic way of looking at life. Either what I do is driving my business and my agendas forward, or I'm relaxing and enjoying stuff. If I'm not doing something that's going to be making me happy, then I won't do it ultimately. And so I don't waste time, in my opinion, of course, but I don't waste time watching negative TV programs like EastEnders or soaps and things like that, because I find them an emotional drain. You don't get anything out of it. It's irritating. I'd rather be spending time using it on connecting and introducing myself to people on LinkedIn and driving that engagement forward. What do you think, Bianca?
Yeah, I mean, if you're, for example, growing your network, okay, which is obviously what the whole point is you'll be growing your network with prospects and the right people that you want to have in your network. And then if let's say 10 minutes in the morning, you go on your homepage and all of those people that have now connected with you, all of their content's on your homepage, and I'm going and putting quite thought-provoking comments, or, just, it's not about selling yourself, it's about conversing, just having conversations. For example, if a sales director writes about a new sales process that's been really successful within the business, I can comment, and then my name gets out there, they see me, I become visible, other people will see me as a sales trainer commenting on. So if you think about your homepage being targeted to your prospects, and it depends how active you are on LinkedIn. You might just accept every Harry and Sally that comes onto your invitations, but they might not be people that you actually want to connect with. So it's about connecting with the right people, building your network with prospect clients, also people that inspire you, or people that you work with in your network. Maybe you're in a networking group, and just engaging all the time is effective. And you don't have to spend forever doing it. You could say, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes a day just going through writing comments and like.
So first things first, if there are any Harrys or Sallys on here, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being called Harry or Sally. And then
my favorite movie when Harry and Sally.
One of the things that Iden had said is, what type of content do they put on there? So what, is that going to be different for every business?
Definitely.
I've just found out that Iden is Mr. Anonymous. He's just fessed up to being the lurker. So thank you, Iden. So when he's putting content on, what would you say that if you're going to give a person one bit of advice for what sort of content they put on, what would you say that would be?
Engaging content, and it could and a variety of content. So you might have video content you can share. You might have interesting articles. When you write an article, again, in the, how are you in with the vision of your client in mind, that article is probably solving a problem that one of your clients has. Is that
right? Brilliant. And that's what I was trying to get across. For me, it's the content you should be putting on should be useful. And then they talk about engaging, they talk about it's interesting. No, useful. It's content that is going to help them. Now, obviously, for us in sales training, it's dead easy. We can do webinars, we can do events, we can help people do stuff, but stuff that is going to help the client. So Aiden, who is is a very, very, I love him because he's such a passionate, hardworking, does everything for the client that anybody could do, a estate agent. But I've seen Aiden, I've seen you put things on about, look, here's how to get your house ready for sale. Here's how to prepare to sell during the COVID period.
And that's really
that's gold, isn't it? Because that's the sort of thing that people will share or show interest in or comment in. So you're not selling, you're helping, you're advising, you're teaching, you're being useful, you're being of value. That's a brilliant, brilliant comment. And of course, all of that drives the something called the social selling index. And a lot of people don't realize that the entire LinkedIn algorithm is driven by something called the social selling index. And Bianca, this is absolutely your field of expertise. So you tell me when you want me to share the image that we've got and explain what the social selling index is.
It's worth putting it on the screen now, and then
fantastic.
Some of you might know about this already. If not, we'll post the link. I'll post the link so that you can all access it and find out yours. But this is one of my clients, Nick. So when he first came on board with me, he wasn't really active on LinkedIn. He was a bit more since he joined BNI, but he didn't really use it to funnel any prospects, or he didn't know the capability he had with it in order to drive more sales. So here, his social selling index was 43 out of 100. If we look at build relationships at the bottom, that was really low. And that's because Nick wasn't really talking to people on LinkedIn. He wasn't engaging with his connections or really engaging with his network. His insights were all right, 15. So he was talking to people through commenting, and so insights is comments, likes, it's engaging with your network through what they've posted, and engaging with the content. Find the right people.
And how many connections did he have at this stage?
So Nick had 75 connections on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And today I think he has about 1,022.
And this is 6 weeks ago we started, wasn't it?
No, yes, 7 weeks, I think.
So this sort of shows his growth. This shows
that was his growth before.
Yeah.
And then if you scroll down.
And now this is now.
So
just to check something, he's gone from what, top 11% and top 58% to 1% and the top 8% in the. So
Nick was the client I spoke about earlier. He was getting his clients from going into, so he does kitchen extraction cleaning. Nick is in the school. Hi, Nick. So he was going into restaurants and, for example, anyone that has a commercial kitchen, he was handing his leaflet and going face-to-face selling, which is quite challenging. Why? Well, it's extremely time-consuming. You got to drive around, park your car, walk to the place. It can be effective, but also time-consuming. And so, since coming on board with social selling, look at how his build relationships has increased.
Wow.
He's almost at 25, and that is because he is talking and engaging with the connections that he gets into his network. He's starting conversations, and he is building actual relationships with prospects and turning those into clients. So you know, the thing is, oh, bye Mark, bye, have a lovely evening. So now Nick would tell you that it's completely changed the way he does business, because now he doesn't need to go out and find clients like that. He can literally grow his network and build those relationships. And it's so effective, and it has brought him new clients, prospects, and actually through social selling, he's understood his business on such a deeper level that he's now reaching out to certain prospects that he wouldn't have thought to reach before. For example, because you can do that because you have access to so many people. You'll start to understand, and this goes back to, and all of you should definitely, if you haven't already, built a sales plan. It's so important to have a sales plan as a business. How many of you have a sales plan? If the answer is, oh, I've actually never done a sales plan, then I hope this sparks the inspiration to do that, because by really analyzing your business, and when I take a client on, the first thing I do is sort of tear apart their business and dive deep inside to see what it is that they do and what they're wanting to achieve. And that comes a lot down to target market. Who are your clients? Who do you want to contact?
Who are your clients, and what are you doing for them?
Well, how are you helping them?
What are they looking to achieve is the key. Yeah. So we've looked at, let's just summarize the things we've covered. We've covered looking at your LinkedIn profile. Have you finished it? Have you completed all the options? Have you got that all-star badge? If not, do it. Then review your LinkedIn profile from the picture onwards. Are you saying what you're going to do for the client, or are you saying what you do? Are you saying sell more now? Because that's what we want, our clients want to do. They want to sell more now. Or is it, we help you, we teach you to sell, which is what we do. Or we get you selling better, which is what we do, as opposed to the answer of what it is the client gets out of it. So is your LinkedIn profile saying the right thing? Next thing to do is to think about what content you've got on there. Have you put articles of how to help people?
Can I add a comment there?
Information. You can indeed, in 1 second. And then the next thing is to look at how you engage with other people. Bianca, what do you want to say?
I just want to say, I think with everything in life and in business, it requires consistency. So if you're going to be starting to engage more with LinkedIn as a platform, and you're going to be putting out content, I think it's important to be consistent. So, you don't have to write always articles. You can post video content, pictures. You might want to use different shapes. Maybe a graphic designer, Simon Hutchins, in my BNI chapter said, sometimes you could add, for example, a circular photo. It will stand out more on the homepage than your usual square. You can be quite creative with all the different types of content, and there's lots. You can do polls. You can engage your network through a poll.
Well, we did that.
You can ask a question.
2 weeks ago, I did a poll, which was about what's the most important sales question, and I'm going to be doing an article based on the results of that. That's a really good point as well, Bianca. The other thing, for example, is, let's say, so there's the people that are on this. If you've enjoyed it, a great thing to do is to give us a recommendation, to say, that was a great webinar. Really recommend finding out about what they do or listen to what they've got to say. Now, yes, that benefits us, but it also benefits you, because by putting a recommendation on my profile, everyone that looks at me, one of the things that people do is they look at the recommendations. They read what people have said about the person they're looking at. So as I expand my network, people who look at me within my network, or the new people, all the different people that I connect with, look at the recommendations. So by you recommending me, you get yourself more visible, not only through the LinkedIn algorithms, which is huge, but also with the people that, oh, that's interesting. Who's this person? How many times people have come to me and said, well, actually, you recommended X person, and I just saw your thing and I thought it was quite an interesting profile. It's a great value. We get the benefit of having additional recommendations, and we go, well, that's nice that they did that. And then we'll look at you and we look to help and do all the things that we do. But actually, it's things that people think, well, I'm not going to do that and help him. No, it's helping you. It's not helping me. You're getting the benefit as well. It's a win-win, which is always the best way to.
It's also just an act of kindness, and it's like you give to get back. I think you know, for me, if I was on someone's profile and I saw they give a lot of recommendations, not only are they engaging with people supporting other businesses, which is also lovely, they're actively giving, which is also nice. It shows you know,
paying it forward in a way.
Yeah, I think
so
it's a community at the end of the day. But what else you can do is you can post and tag people from the webinar in the post, and maybe there, for example, some of you might be, if you look at the attendees, there might be people that you've not actually met before. And I want to give an example. Sonal, hi Sonal. So Sonal, I knew about you because I kept seeing you on my LinkedIn. You were everywhere I looked. I saw Sonal was commenting here, left, right, there. And eventually now we are doing a course together. And I really do look forward to actually speaking to you one-on-one and getting to know you. But Sonal I knew all from LinkedIn, because I just saw her everywhere, because she is really active and engages with everyone's posts, and in a really lovely way as well. So that just shows I knew about Sonal before I even spoke to her.
Just, you know, not everyone can see everybody else. We get that visibility nobody else does, said Jamie, which is great. Now, Bianca, I have got there's a couple of things, because I'm very strict on the 1 hour thing. We want to have finished the meat of what we're doing on the 1 hour. I don't want to eat into people's evenings. I think it's fantastic we've had so many people coming, but I want you to give me a number between 1 and 51, please, because we're going to do the free prize draw now, everyone. So no, do 1 and 52, because Mark was here. He shouldn't miss out. Choose a number between 1 and 52, please.
4.
4. Okay. Okay, so drum roll. And the winner of our prize is Frankie Pillane. So Frankie, you have a choice of a signed copy of Sell Your Attitude, a sleeve of Sell Your Attitude golf balls, highly recommended, or 2 months supply of our time tracker and time management pads that are brilliant. So you let me know what you want and we will get that sent out to you straight away. Oh, I've never done a free prize draw. I've quite enjoyed that. And of course, if Frankie doesn't let me know what she wants, we can't give it to her. So there you go. Great. Okay. So before we finish, any questions? Or we've had a question here. I want people to ask any. Oh, Sheila gave us an answer 43. Thanks for that. And Frankie, you're right, Mitch. Frankie is the big winner this week, which is really quite funny. But we did that through Bianca didn't know what I was doing there. So great. Well, I hope that it's been of use for you all. I hope that there's
Can I leave pointers? I think I really hope that this has been helpful, and I just sort of think for all of you that leave this evening to take with you and really sort of look at your business and think about who you want to be your clients? Who are the right clients for you as well? Because sometimes in business we don't actually have the right clients. We might have clients that are bringing us in money, but they might not be who you really want to be working with. So I want you to go away and I want you to really think about who your ideal clients are. Now that you know that there is actually a way to reach the people you really want to work with, how are you going to do that? And if this is something that you strongly are considering to use as a way to generate more, because it will take time, so it's got to be something that you factor into your sales plan essentially, and to build your pipeline. But I definitely recommend getting Sales Navigator. There is a free month trial, so anyone that hasn't had it already, you can go away tonight, you can get the free trial. Make sure that you put a diary entry into your diary so that doesn't come out as a big amount of money of your account if you're not going to keep on with it. And if anyone wants to know about my Level Up LinkedIn program and is strongly considering social selling for their business, I'll be happy to speak with you separately about that.
And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you something else I'm going to do, because I am going on holiday tomorrow. Yes. So I want to do something nice. I think and I promise you, when I say to you, it's worth your. I mean, hopefully, well, I'm not sure if we're all connected on LinkedIn. If you're not connected, Adam Kaplan and Bianca Kaplan, connect with us on LinkedIn, and then everyone and I'm not. This isn't me paying. This is just me saying thank you in advance. But everyone that puts a nice comment on our puts a recommendation for both Bianca and I on our LinkedIn's as part of it. If you enjoyed the webinar, of course, we will send you our very effective time management time tracker pads each. So there's a lot of pads to send out, Bianca, but you have to do it because I'm away. Sorry. But you'll all get that as me saying thank you to you for you listening and listening to what we've got to say. And in order to earn that, you've got to give a recommendation to us, which is actually going to benefit you as well. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. We've got another question, which is this being recorded? Well, Sheila, it is being recorded, and it will be available as a webinar, but probably not for a while, because I'm unlikely to be recording it while I'm on holiday. But you never know, if I get sunburnt, I might just do that. Thank you so much. We've got 120 seconds to go. And so I think we've done it brilliantly on time. I hope everyone enjoyed it. It's been lovely to some of you. I know, some of you I don't. I hope to certainly get to know you all over the next, well, not in the next 2 weeks, to be fair, but after that. But please have a thought. If it's just got you to think about one thing, that would be great. Any last comment, Bianca? You have 60 seconds.
Just thank you everyone for coming. I hope it was. I hope you guys have actually walked away with stuff. I think at times maybe went down the rabbit hole, but yeah, I hope it was helpful, and look forward to connecting with those of you that I don't already know, and have a wonderful evening.
And we are doing another one. We do this every month, so
yes,
every single month,
monthly thing.
A monthly free webinar of ours with a free prize draw and stuff that goes along like that. So I don't know what the next one's going to be about. We'll have a little think about that, and we will post onto LinkedIn and share with you all everything about that. So thank you very much. We're going to say
thank you.
Sayonara. Bianca, thank you for your assistance there. Hopefully I hosted it okay for you.
Yeah, you're great as always.
And, I'll see you in a couple of weeks when I get back from my holiday. Keep well.
Yeah, bye.
Don't destroy the business while I'm away. It's your business as well. Don't forget that. And yeah, great. Well, guys, thank you so much. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah, everyone level up. Have an amazing week.
Level up.
Leveling up.
Bye.